And then there were 8. Grossi Posse Packer Nation. Welcome to another episode of Packcast, the podcast where you don't have to be a Packers fan, but it sure does help. I'm your host, Tom. The Packers are one of those 8, and I'm so excited, Grossi. And today, we are going to be doing our power rankings heading into the divisional round of this NFL postseason. And a lot of people usually call the divisional round the best weekend in the NFL because you have some of the best teams going at it. And this divisional round is shaping up to be something crazy. And also, for the first time this season, there ain't 10 teams. We're only ranking the final 8 teams left, and that means that somebody's going to be upset because, sorry, somebody has to be at the bottom of the list. And so starting off with number 8, you got the Tampa Bay Buccaneers still in it. The Tampa Bay Buccaneers, what a freaking game that they had on Monday night against the Philadelphia Eagles. And I want to be very, very clear about something. I know that they're number 8, and I know that that might be, a negative connotation that they're a struggling team or they don't deserve to be here or anything. And that could be further from the truth. And I think a lot of the media is going to be focusing on this week the fact that the Eagles lost that game. And it makes sense. They went to the Super Bowl last year, and now they're getting bounced in the wild card. It's a big story. However, I want to talk about how the frackin' Buccaneers won that game. And more specifically, Baker Mayfield getting his second career playoff win.
Everybody was trying to be like, oh, is he a one-hit wonder, da-da-da. But it's like, now what? 2-hit wonder? Like, the fuck?
Because from the beginning of the game, the Buccaneers came out flying. They moved the ball down the field with ease. Baker was slinging it. And honestly, they could have blown out the Eagles even more so if their receivers caught a few more balls. And the Buccaneers, similar to a couple other teams on this list, are playing with house money. A lot of people, including myself, didn't think they'd be doing so great this year. People thought they were going to get about 5 wins. And now they're in the postseason, and now they won a freaking playoff game, and that's after winning the whole NFC South. And I know that division's not so great, and I know the Panthers held them to 9 points in Week 18, but legitimately, the Buccaneers deserve to be here, and they have nothing to lose. Their offense was looking great. Baker Mayfield, like I said before, what a freaking year for him. Seen as kind of like that transitional quarterback, a stopgap. Now, he may have played himself into a major contract with the Buccaneers, and I just love Baker Mayfield's story. The dude has been through so much, and now for him to make it into the divisional round, taking on the Lions, that's what makes football great. And so the Buccaneers sitting at number 8, but I think if you told any Tampa fans that they'd be here at the beginning of the year, they'd be pretty happy with that. Number 7, you got the Kansas City Chiefs. And they took care of business against the Miami Dolphins on Saturday night. However, the real winner of that Peacock exclusive game? Capitalism.
I gotta say, well done. You won.
Yeah. Money wins.
But the Chiefs, their defense, which has really been the story all season, has looked phenomenal, and they looked really good on Saturday. The Dolphins really couldn't do anything against that defense and the cold, plus the play calling really wasn't that good. And the Chiefs had a pretty easy victory. Their offense was efficient enough, Rashee Rice, of course, being the bright spot as he has been this season. He's come a long way. And Patrick Mahomes played well enough to defeat the Dolphins. And so you might be wondering, Tom, why are they all the way down at number 7? And the reason is because for the first time, Patrick Mahomes is going to be playing an away game in the playoffs, which legitimately is an insane stat. And so for me, I'm looking at this team going, how well did they play last week, of course, and now looking ahead at their opponent, what kind of conditions are they going to be playing against, who are they playing against, and they're going to be going up against the Buffalo Bills. And the Bills, they didn't look amazing yesterday, but Buffalo is going to be electric, and if there's any team that they want to knock off in the postseason, it's going to be the Chiefs. I do think the Chiefs are going to put up one hell of a fight. I think it's going to be a great game, and the Chiefs can definitely win that game. I do worry about that offense a little bit, but the Chiefs, their first time as a wild card team under Patrick Mahomes, they won their first game. Let's see if they could do it again. Number 6, you got the Detroit Lions. The Lions. exercising their playoff demons for the first time in over 30 years, getting a playoff win, the first playoff game at Ford Field, and knocking off Matthew Stafford. A hell of a moment for the Lions, a hell of a moment for their fans, the city of Detroit, and it was really awesome to see because, as you know, there's a little bit of a soft spot for the Lions that will go away if we wind up playing each other in the NFC Championship game. I promise you, and as you continue to win more games, it's going to go away. But for right now, it's really exciting for the Lions. It was a really close game against the Rams, and the Rams, I saw them trying to pay off those officials at the end.
$7? Are you f***ing serious? This isn't enough for anything. What are you, a 6-year-old?
Yeah, it didn't work. But the Lions, they really went toe-to-toe with the Rams in what was the best game of Wild Card Weekend. And with an insane crowd at Ford Field behind them, they were able to get the victory. Their defense made some really great stops. Their offense did just enough to get the win. Dan Campbell, of course, going for it on 4th down like he usually does. And the Lions are a dangerous football team. I am putting them down at number 6 just because their strength of victory over the Rams wasn't the best of what we saw this weekend. But again, they are one of the best teams in the NFC remaining. They're hosting another home game against a team in the Buccaneers that they definitely can beat. And yeah, they might have their sights set on the NFC Championship game, and they got a good shot to get there. But for right now, they're sitting at number 6, and let's see if they can stay alive one more week. Number 5, you got the Green Bay mother-loving Packers, and I can already see it now. Oh, he's a homer. He's putting the Packers above the Chiefs and the Buccaneers and the Lions. Nay. Here's the logic behind it. Good God, the first time in NFL history the 7 seed has knocked off a 2 seed. And that 2 seed, yeah, it was the Dallas Cowboys, who were undefeated at home. And the Packers went into Arlington and they didn't just squeak out a victory. They kicked the crap out of the Cowboys. And most exciting, this was the first time really all year that Jordan Love had his full arsenal of weapons. You had Jaden Reed, you had Watson, you had Wicks, you had Romeo Doubs, of course Aaron Jones, and I know A.J. Dillon was out, but look at what they were able to do. Christian Watson and Jaden Reed barely did anything, and that's a great thing because that means there's so much diversity in the amount of talent that's on this offense. You saw what they were able to do. The defense able to contain Dak, had a pick 6, Jair getting a pick, and I know at the end it got a little bit dicey, but the Packers were rolling, and they beat the 2 seed, and so because of that, I gotta give them some respect. And as for Cowboys fans, yikes. But don't worry, Packers fans will check on you.
I thought this was going to be your year.
I couldn't even hold it together 1 week.
But legitimately, Jordan Love has been one of the best quarterbacks in the league this past month and a half. His QB rating is off the charts, his stats are amazing, and just the calm and poise that he has in the pocket and able to deliver in big moments, he's something special. And as I've been saying all week in these past couple weeks, the Packers, like the Buccaneers, are playing with house money. This was supposed to be a rebuild year, and now they look like one of the most dangerous teams left in the postseason. And so I'm not saying that they're going to go into Santa Clara and going to blow them out of the water, but I think there's some respect that is now earned for the Green Bay Packers, and because of that, they're at number 5. Number 4, you got the Buffalo Bills. Oh, Bills fans, game was supposed to be on Sunday, got moved to Monday, the snow was pouring down, but you got the win. That first half, everything was clicking for the Bills. The offense was moving the ball pretty efficiently. The defense was looking good. However, good God, the injuries. Why are there so many injuries? Thankfully, some of those injuries don't seem as significant as others, but definitely still worrisome for the Bills. And Bills fans, I don't know how you watch Josh Allen play every week because, good God.
You're crazy. I like you, but you're crazy.
He crazy. Now, that game did get a little close at the end, but Khalil Shakir was able to break off a huge touchdown, and now they are going to be hosting the Kansas City Chiefs on Sunday Night Football. And why are they at number 4, even though they're banged up right now? Because, one, we see how good the Bills could be, the fact that they even made it to the postseason and had that kind of miraculous comeback this year. But 2, that home field advantage is going to be insane. It is going to be rocking, and I like the Bills' chances a lot on Sunday night. And so because of that, I'm going to put them at number 4, and maybe, just maybe, they can go all the way this time. Number 3, You got the Houston Texans, and you might be saying, Tom, this is a little bit high for the Texans, but I think they had one of the most impressive wins of the weekend, knocking off the Cleveland Browns in a very close game in the first half, and then that defense and Stroud just took over. And now you're sitting there, the Texans are still there after winning the division, they knocked off the Browns, and it just seems that the Strouds are growing in power.
That's no moon. It's a space station.
But really, I'm just impressed with the Texans/Strouds because what they were able to do against that Cleveland defense, who I know is banged up, is really impressive. Of course, their offense is lacking Tank Dell, but it does not matter because Nico Collins is there. And CJ Stroud, very similar stats to Jordan Love, is just cooking right now. And now they're going into Baltimore to take on the Ravens, which is going to be a very difficult game. However, another team with nothing to lose is one of the most dangerous things you could have in the postseason. The defense played well. The offense is firing on all cylinders. And so after that game, Texans fans, I think there's only one question you got to ask. Why not us? Number 2, you got the San Francisco 49ers enjoying a nice bye week this week. However, I'm sure the 49ers were very pleased to see the Packers knock off the Cowboys.
I have to finish the story.
I mean, honestly, they'd probably be happy with either because they kind of own both teams in the playoffs, but not anymore, hopefully. But the 49ers basically got 2 weeks of rest, which they needed. I know Christian McCaffrey was banged up a couple of weeks ago, but they took week 18 off. Of course, they had the bye this week, and now they are going to be well rested, welcoming the Green Bay Packers. Now, as I mentioned before, the 49ers, they have a history against the Packers. Aaron Rodgers couldn't beat them in the postseason. The 49ers were 4-0 against them. Aaron Rodgers ain't the quarterback of the Green Bay Packers anymore, though. It is Jordan Love. And I think that this game is going to be a good one. Fred Warner recently came out and said, you cannot underestimate the Packers, and I don't think the 49ers are going to. They're one of the best coached teams in the league. Their roster is absolutely stacked, and they are 2 games away from going back to the Super Bowl. And so this game on Saturday night, a whole lot is on the line, especially for the 49ers. Packers continue to play with house money. Let's see who comes out victorious. And if it's the 49ers again. And number 1, it's been like this for a few weeks. You got the Baltimore Ravens, who had the best week possible of just about any team because the 49ers and the Ravens got to just sit back and watch their entire division get eliminated from the playoffs.
Oh my God. Poor bastards.
And now it seems like the most dangerous team in the playoffs to the Ravens are the Ravens because they don't have to worry about playing any of their division rivals because the AFC North, everyone just punches each other in the face. They have home field advantage. They'll be welcoming the Houston Texans this week, and I think that's going to be a really fun game. It's going to be a really great test for a very good defense. Of course, Lamar Jackson has been lighting it up this year, playing at an MVP-like level. And the Ravens, they have some playoff demons to exercise of their own. Lamar Jackson's record in the playoffs, not so great. Can they handle the moment? Can they handle the pressure? This looks like a very different Ravens team that we've seen from years past. Alone, just looking at the wide receiver help, it's apparent that this is a different offense. So for now, the Ravens remain at number 1. They're going to get a great test in the Texans. And let's see if they can hold on to that spot and move on to the AFC Championship game. And so to recap, at 1, you got the Ravens, 2 49ers, 3 Texans, 4 Bills, 5 Packers, 6 Lions, 7 Chiefs, and 8 Buccaneers. But of course, let me know what you think down in the comments below. Who do you think should be a little bit higher, a little bit lower? Let me know. You know, I saw me at Tom Grossi Comedy, all social media, see down below. A big shout and thank you to all the patrons and YouTube members for supporting this channel. And thank you so much for watching. I'm Tom Grossi. And as always, go Pack Go.